The Shimakaze, simultaneously the most ubiquitous and also probably the most poorly played destroyer at the legendary / tier 7 area in this game. Hello, I am Xarkun, this is World of Warships Legends. Today on the Tiers of the Cruiser map, we've got that legendary Japanese destroyer, and this is going to be both a pretty nice carry and also a textbook example of how to play these stealthy Japanese torpedo boats well. And this would apply to all of the stealthy Japanese torpedo boats, the Shimakaze, Kagero, Akatsuki, Udachi, all the lower tier ones, basically everything except the tier 7 gunboat Japanese destroyer, Akizuki, which happens to be my favorite. One of the reasons I don't really care for these torpedo boats is that, in my mind, they're kind of one-trick ponies. Sure, they've got guns that hit hard, but they're not very effective guns. They've got slow rotating turrets, a slow rate of fire, and basically the bread and butter of these Japanese torpedo boat destroyers are, of course, their torpedoes. Now, there's variances between all of them, but the principles that I sort of demonstrate here, I think, should apply broadly across the board. We're approaching the alpha cap in our opening move, but note that we are not going to enter it right away. Why is that? Well, in my experience, which is extensive, Japanese torpedoes are simultaneously the hardest hitting torpedoes in the game and also the easiest to dodge. Why are they easy to dodge? Well, even though they tend to be pretty quick, they are also highly conspicuous. I think the torpedo detectability range on the Shima's torps is something like 1.7, 1.8 kilometers, nearly 2 kilometers. And so, if you know that these torpedoes are going to be coming from somewhere, there's quite a bit of time to maneuver your vessel when you see the torpedoes. So the key to these Japanese torpedo boats is to not allow the enemy to know where you're at. Now these two Yamatos out here, you can see we've launched torpedoes at one of them who looks like he was sailing forward and is going to come through this gap. Neither of these guys know that we are anywhere near the area because we didn't get on the cap circle. Had we done that and started flipping it, they would have known, or they would have had the tools to know, that there is a destroyer in the area. And since we didn't get on the cap circle immediately, they did not know that, and these torpedoes catch this first Yamato here by surprise, inflicting 68,000, nearly 70,000 damage on him with 2 torpedoes. Now, had this guy known I was here, I suspect he would have been maneuvering a lot more, and it would have been more difficult to hit him. So, stealth is the key element of these Japanese destroyers, and sometimes stealth means not getting on a capture circle right away and giving your general position away to the enemies. We are able to take that Yamato out. We didn't actually get the kill, but we did the majority of damage, and our teammates finished him off. Now we're going to secure this cap and go after the second Yamato. But our primary goal is not to go after that Yamato at all. Our primary goal is to get into the Bravo cap circle, the enemy's spawn cap. That Yamato is the only one in the area to provide any kind of resistance to us, and he's not really going to be able to do that because he's never going to see us. The rest of his teammates are on the other side of the map near Charlie. There's a fight going on there between the blue team and the red team, and so far the results are inconclusive. Also, 4 destroyers have died in the time that I've been talking, 2 on my team and 2 on the enemy team. I am my team's last destroyer, and the red destroyer still remaining afloat is also a Shimakaze, but I don't really know what he's going to be doing for the majority of this game, certainly not what I'm doing. Another reason, though, that I say Japanese torpedoes tend to be fairly easy to dodge, even though they are quick. Not only are they very conspicuous, but this is something you won't see on any stats page. They tend to spread out quite a bit. In fact, on these narrow spreads, by the time they get, I don't know, halfway down their trajectory or so, the space between torpedoes is usually wide enough to fit a battleship. And so we launched some torpedoes at this second Yamato here. You'd think with 15 of them in the water, at least one would hit, but no, 0 are going to hit. This guy saw them at probably 1.7, 1.8 kilometers. He was already pointed away. Not too difficult to make course adjustments and avoid all of the torps. Now, obviously I launched them at an angle that is less than ideal. It's always much more difficult to hit ships that are giving you a more narrow target profile, i.e. not showing you broadside, and also ships that are sailing away from you. Although those torpedoes were effective, at least in one sense. They persuaded the Yamato that he should consider continuing to sail in that direction, and he's doing that. Another bit of persuasion might be my teammates sailing after him. Also, the enemy Shima appears. I take the opportunity to shoot at him. We don't walk away with doing any damage to him or anything like that, but it was an opportunity that presented itself, and the key to winning this game will be killing that Shima. Nevertheless, though, we've accomplished our goal. We've taken the Alpha Cap and the Bravo Cap. We have done our job as a destroyer. Now it's time to come over here and support this side of the map. We get a little too close to the enemy Hipper there. He does end up spotting us. Our detectability range is 4.9 kilometers by sea. We do not fire our guns. If you get spotted in a stealthy Japanese destroyer and you need to disengage, don't fire your guns, because then you will have the firing penalty and your detectability will bloom out to your max firing range for roughly 20 seconds. So since we didn't fire, we didn't get that penalty imposed on us, we're able to sail out of detectability range and out of harm's way. Now, we have, I think, 2 GKs approaching in a sort of similar way that the Yamato did earlier in the game. They're going past a gap in between islands. We only had 1 torpedo launcher ready to go since we launched some at that Hipper. We did fail to hit him, but we've got 5 torpedoes sailing toward the GKs right now. And you can see that from the way they're sailing, they intend to engage and brawl with the friendly GK over here, who is the only ship these guys can really see, and probably the only ship they're shooting at. We're here with our torpedoes to even the odds and support our teammate so that these guys don't overrun him and send him to the bottom of the sea. Looks like at least one of our torpedoes is going to hit that first GK, but we are using the long-range torpedoes on the Shima, so they have like 11.5 kilometer range, something like that. And so they continue sailing, and we managed to catch the other GK with another torpedo, bringing us over the 100,000 damage done threshold. Kind of trying to figure out what these GKs are doing now by taking a look at what the torpedo aiming indicator is doing. I'm assuming they want to come around this side of the island here to the right to engage with the friendly GK. And so I'm going to launch torpedoes that way, even though we did momentarily lose spot of the one enemy GK who appeared to be coming this way. We see that the enemy Shimakaze is also launching torpedoes at our teammate there, although his launches are a bit less successful. Our launch, though, looks to be right on target, and it looks like we are going to hit that one GK out there with enough torpedoes to kill him. We do. He goes down for our first kill of the game, actually, and our teammate thanks us for our support. Now we're going to launch our last set of torpedoes. Unfortunately, the carcass of that ship we just sunk is probably going to offer his almost dead teammate there some sort of protection from our dangerous metal fish. We'll see if that ends up happening. Otherwise, I think those torpedoes are probably on point, and they would take out that GK. Well, they would take him out if he wasn't taken out by somebody else first. He goes down, we don't have to worry about him anymore. Now we're going to sail forward a little bit. We want to find that enemy Shima. Again, I think he is probably the key to winning this game. And you can say, you know, we have every advantage here. We have 3 cap circles. We've held them for a long time, and we are even on ships. But, things can go south pretty quickly. We don't actually know what the hit point situation is for most of our teammates. For all we know, most of them are one-shot kills, and so there is still work to be done on our part. Now, it looks like we're probably going to be able to get torps on this GK. We don't know where the enemy Shima is, but we do know that he's not on any of our capture circles. He's likely out there trying to farm damage. We do make a bit of a fatal mistake here, or potentially a fatal mistake. The Gross Occur First does come equipped with the Hydroacoustic Search consumable, and it has a long detectability range for surface ships. I think it's 5.4, 5.5 kilometers maybe. We get inside of that hydroacoustic search range and we are spotted, but again, we don't shoot our guns. We don't get that firing penalty imposed on us, and we take out that GK with one set of torpedoes, earning the high caliber medal and bringing our damage total up to 186,000. Now, we do get lit on fire by the Hipper there, which makes our detectability increase, so we drop the smoke, and then we go unspotted. We use our guns when we're safely concealed behind the smoke screen, trying to farm a little bit of damage off of this Hipper if that is possible. Now we do know where the enemy Shima is. He's in the Bravo Cap circle. He's just flipped it. But we still have a huge points advantage, and that enemy Yamato that we sort of chased off that cap earlier, you can see, judging by his last known position on the map, he's not even quite close to the Bravo Cap yet. We and our teammates managed to make him go way, way out of position. If you can't kill a ship, then getting it to run away is the next best thing. Looks like our torpedoes on this Hipper are also on point. We managed to land one, and that is enough to sink the Hipper. That's our third kill of the game, 205,000 damage done, and now it's 2 versus 2. The friendly GK that I supported a little bit earlier in the match, the Yamato that we chased north of the Bravo Cap a lot earlier, and the enemy Shimakaze. We still don't know quite where he is, but I would suspect he's probably coming for this GK. And yep, there are his torpedoes. Frankly, at this point, there's not a lot of time left in the match. Less than 3 minutes to go. So the best hope for these guys to win is to sink both of us. Luckily, I have a distinct hit points advantage over the enemy Shima. Hit him there with the guns as he sails around the island. We know that he's just launched his torpedoes, so there's no danger that we're going to take any of those. And he does manage to find safety and respite, at least momentarily. Yamato out there, not much I can do about him. I could maybe keep him spotted for my teammate to shoot, but it looks like the GK has turned to run away, which is probably the correct thing for him to do. All we need to do in order to win this game is survive. But, again, this Shima, he's the wild card. If we can take him out, then we will have our insurance for the win, let's say. And so, we're trying to spot him. We thought we would be seeing him by now, thinking maybe he went between these islands and is around this one, but surprise, plot twist, he really didn't get that far at all. And I don't think his torpedoes should be loaded yet, so hopefully one more salvo. Well, actually our teammate is able to come in with the kill in the Gross Occur First, which is excellent. Always shoot at destroyers, as the textbook says. Also, as a side note, this game just goes to show you why you want to invest in capture circles. The reason we were able to obtain this comfortable win is because of my capture of 2 of the cap circles and our ability to hold 3 for the majority of the game. Even if the friendly GK goes down, which I don't think he's going to, this is still a solid win, thanks in part to building all those points up by holding the cap circles, and, of course, the damage that I was able to inflict on the enemy. Let's just say that didn't hurt. So, we're going to tick past 1,000 now, and the game is won. Hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.